Stream. Hello, 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 hello. I think we're out. Are we live? Are we live? Welcome, 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 welcome. Connect your encoder. Start sending us your video from your streaming software to go live. Hello? Oh my days. I don't even know if I'm live. YouTube. Hey! There we go. I am live. Fantastic. Right guys, right.
Give me 2 seconds, John.
Right, I think we can do that now, can't we? Hello, hello, hello. And if I go on to here, I should be able to sort that out. There we go. Welcome, 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 welcome. How is everybody enjoying this Tuesday night live? I've got to kind of position myself in both like that, so then you can see, I can see. We're on the tubes. Let's try and get a TikTok manager so I can see comments coming through. I don't know if it's going to kick me off here. What you need to be doing is hitting that like button. Let's get the live started. Hey Vanessa, how are we doing, my dear? I'm trying something different. So tonight I am on the YouTube. So I need to try. I'm going to screen share on YouTube, and then I shouldn't say it. But it's a trial, You know how it's been these last few days. I need to open a window. Oh. So we're trying something different, seeing if it works. My battery should last, hopefully, and then people can still see my screen. And it's just going to provide that other aspect. So then I could do what we're doing on here. People could see. I think. But I've got 2 cameras, so I've got one here, and I've got to watch how things go. I can't see what's happening on the live though. That is a little bit worrying. But we'll get there. We've got that. We've got this. That camera's a little bit better now. Hopefully I should be able to see what I'm saying. It's a trial, so we'll see how it goes. But this is week 85, going live. Continue hosting live. hopefully I could see someone just type something, please, 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 just type something, anything, just hello, hello, hello. I want to see if it works. We have got, I'm doing things on 2 different places now. Testing. Right. That didn't work how I wanted it to work. So, back to the drawing board. I should be able to... So what I'm doing on one platform is screen sharing. One, I'm actually going to be talking to you here. So if you want to ask me any questions on here, see my screen on how to do it, then I could show you. That needs to be taken off my pencil. Log in. Let's just take this off. How's everyone's weeks going? How's sourcing been for you? Were you sharing your screen on the tube YT under the same name? So hopefully you'll be able to get involved with that. Ask me questions on there. Ask me questions probably on there would be better than actually doing it on here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's first time of doing it, so I might be a little bit wrong. It's just trying to do something different for the stream. Trying to do something different. Hey, we can do it, we're doing it. So I can actually see if people chat now, which is all good in the hood. Right, so what we're going to do is we can start with whatever you want to do. I think Tom might be in here. He might be somewhere else, I don't know. We have got lots of different things. We are streaming in 2 different places. We are going to be able to show you a lot more if you was going to look at the... I'm multitasking a bit today, swimming mum mode and eating my sandwich and listening in. Fair enough, fair enough. So, what you can see here is there a delay on this stream? I don't know. I don't think so. So what I can show you is, like, when you start in Amazon, you're looking for products. A lot of people want to be looking at different softwares and stuff. So we can be doing a different piece of software. We've got lots of them, like to analyze tools. We could be using likes of SellerAmp, we could be using likes of BuyBot Pro, or there's other ones like ProfitGo, there's ASINZen, different things like that. And when you are doing your sourcing, what you want to be making sure you're doing is using the fees, because setting up your SaaS, you want to be making sure you put in some sort of fees there, because when you're looking, and I'll show you here, we'll go on to mine. So if we go on to settings, as you can see here, I have got like inbound shipping fees, I've got storage fees set up, and these are just as a default. You don't want to be having a 0 storage fee. A lot of people do set all this up with 0 actually set up throughout, which is going to cause you a lot of issues down the line, because you're trying to say to SaaS you're not going to store your products for any time in Amazon, but you don't know that, because when we are sourcing products, we can look at the historic data and we can see, obviously, products sell, and that's why we buy them. We can buy them for a cheap, sell them for a profit. But if you're thinking that that storage time is going to be 0, you might be wrong, and that means the product which you purchase potentially might not actually be profitable. There's been a few people out there who's like messaged me asking for a bit of help, like analysing a product, which I don't mind doing that. But when I've looked at that product, what's happened is you look at the product and you'd figure out how to actually get the profit, which is really hard because when you're starting out, there's a lot of settings. So just going to run through these now. So I've got an inbound shipping fee. So I've done it 30 pence per kilogram. So what that is essentially is if you're sending a heavy product in, so 2 kilograms, what that's going to do is give you 60 pence of fees. If you've got if you have like a product which is a pack of pens, for instance, obviously not very heavy, that's going to give you less in fees. So you've got that fee there, that's the inbound shipping fee. If you was looking at the peak storage fee, what you can do is that starts in October, so this is the Q4 period. So you start with October the 1st, and that will go on till December the 31st. So that is the peak storage fee. Amazon likes to change their fees and how much it's going to cost you to store them. So that is a really important one, especially when you get into that Q4 period. I like to put that on a little bit earlier than October, because those products which you're going to be buying in September, them products which you're buying in September, obviously they might be in Amazon during that Q4 season. So you've got to be thinking about these fees and applying them when necessary. I don't do Europe, so I don't use the CEP. We have got, like I say, I have a 2-month storage time. Obviously some of my products, they do stay in Amazon a little bit longer than 2 months, but I think 2 months most of my products do sell out. Because what I want to do is I have got a repricer set up as well, so the longer the amount of time it's in Amazon, what could happen is it'll reduce the price and I'll make less money for it. So what you could do, like I said, I've put mine 2 months. You can put it a little bit more, it's up to you. My main sourcing method and my fulfillment is FBA, so I'll turn that one on instead of FBM. If you've got any questions, if you're on the tube, on YouTube, or if you're actually on TikTok, let me know if you've got any questions and I can answer them. European fulfillment, I've got it as EFN. I'm not part of the Pan EU. I only sell it in the UK. We have got the buying criteria here as well, so really I need to change this one because my minimum profit is £2. That's what I've set my repricer up. So, but what this is essentially is doing, it's going to make changes to your max cost. So the max cost is what you would actually see when you're actually doing your sourcing, and we can show you that in a minute on the tube. So we could have a look at that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you in. So we have got that one. Minimum ROI, you can set that to whatever you want. Like I said, all it does is make a difference on that actual max cost to what's the most expensive you could buy that product to meet your criteria. Mine's 20%, but it's usually about 30-40 as my minimum. But I do go 20%. I do have it as 20% because I go on margin, and the more pricier item is, obviously the less ROI I need to make on it, because you will still be making that same amount of margin. If, like I say, if there's any questions on YouTube or on here, let me know and I could go over them. You can see my screen and you'll see what I'm actually looking at if you went onto the other platform as well. So just a word of advice. Here I use a prep fee, so my prep fee is 70 pence. So what I do every month, I'll work out what my average fee is for doing the using the prep centre. So it's quite simple how much it's cost you, how many units have you sent in that month, and then you work it out. I usually overestimate, because these calculators which we use to figure out profit, they are estimates. They're not giving you the exact figures, and a lot of people believe that these figures are the most accurate, but it isn't. It's one of these things what you do to meet like 90%. Like most of my products will sell out within the first 2 months. That's 90% of my products I want to sell out in the first 2 months. So prep fee, I overestimate, and I think last month's prep was working out about 62 pence a unit. But like I say, I like to overestimate instead of underestimate. Misc fee, you can do that if you use a lot of poly bags or anything. My prep centre includes the poly bags, so you could. That's zero for me. It's very unusual that I'll have to pay bubble wrap. I don't sell many like fragile products or anything. So welcome. We have got a flash goal. So what's that? Start that. Hey. I am streaming on the other platform as well. You can see my screen on the tube, the one which is MeTube. I can't say the exact words, but it's there. This setting here, the VAT settings on your calculator, your profit calculator, a lot of people do actually get this wrong. So when you start out and you're not VAT registered, what you need to be starting out with is actually the setting as not registered. That is that you're not VAT registered. The not applicable, that is no longer a thing. And if you do become VAT registered, it is now better to be standard rate instead of the flat rate. I have been flat rate when it was better for me, but since I think it was October 20, no, it was probably August 2024, it all changed. So now if you are VAT registered, you need to be on that standard rate. If you're not VAT registered, you need to be on not registered. So I'm making sure that I'm keeping these fees the same, because my VA in the morning will be actually using my SAS. And these default values here is what you're going to see when you actually analyse a product. So as you can see for me, I have got the current buy box analysis time frame. That is on the 90 days, so I can look back at the last previous 3 months on the charts and stuff. If you want to change them, you can change them. You have the FBA cost, so if you do fulfill by merchant, you can actually then start putting a manual cost in there of like your minimal parcel. Custom ROI calculation, 35%. So yeah, that is how you should have things set up. You have got other ways of setting things up as well. So you can do, like with SAS, you could do store geolocation. So if you were scanning in store, what you can do is actually get the geolocation for that store, and you create a map. Charts, so yep, charts lifetime all. I don't like showing the break even, because I should be analysing a product which is profitable. I don't need to look at a break even. If you go to the SAS panels here, you can see we've got lots of different things you can turn on, turn off. You can move these around if you really want to, and at the end of it, you don't actually have to save. It all automatically saves. If you was doing eBay, for instance, you can actually turn that eBay one on as well. That'll show you some buttons to say what the current price is on eBay and what its used sold price, sorry. So yeah, that is going over like the settings in SellerAmp SaaS. If you was looking at anything else, if you wanted to come and look at how to start doing like sourcing, we could go over that now. So we've got a method, so we've got like storefront stalking, there's manual sourcing, you've got newsletter sourcing, I can show you how to do a reverse search, we've got keeper sourcing, there's Amazon to Amazon sourcing. When I say keeper, that is usually the product finder filters. We could go over all of that. If you want to see my screen, I am currently on the MeTube. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop a question in there. I am monitoring the chats. I'm better off seeing the chat in there than on TikTok. But what we'll do is go over some methods of sourcing. If you was starting to do some sourcing, I would recommend getting this Chrome extension. This Chrome extension does come with SellerAmp. It is SaaS QVS, so Quick View Simplified. It's free to download if you have got an active SellerAmp subscription. I have told loads of people about this subscription because it's not a subscription, this Chrome extension, because this Chrome extension does actually help you, and I'll show you how it could help us when we do some storefront stalking. So if you was doing storefront stalking, what you would be doing is you'd be wanting to go to Amazon, then you'd search for a brand, for instance, so we could say Lego. Press Lego, and what that's going to do is give you the list of products which are on Amazon under the Lego brand. If you was going to have that, you can actually scroll down here, and Quick View Simplified is these islands here. So these islands here, that gives us some really important information. So as you can see, we've got Amazon, we've got FBA sellers on the listing, we've got FBM sellers on the listing, and if you was doing storefront stalking, you wouldn't want to be going through all these different products individually and seeing if there's any FBA sellers on. So this is actually giving you an insight of how to figure out which type of sellers are on these products, and it's going to save you time. If it saves you time, that's brilliant for us. So as you can see here, we have got like this Lego, Nintendo Lego, Game Boy Lego. This is actually a really cool set. I do like the actual look of it, the buttons press and everything. But yeah, we're not here to buy Lego. We're here to source products. So looking back at this one, it said we had 4 FBA sellers. If we look at this, we could go down. So when you come to the listing here, you'll be wanting to look down at the offer count. Sorry, Dougal wants carrots. Dougal time. There you go, go on then you three. So here you can see we go down to the offers, which is on SellerAmp, and this offers is actually who is selling the product right now on Amazon. So you can see these are all the different sellers. So we've got Jadlam Toys and Models, we've got Toys and Gift Euphorium, Emporium, Howler's Toys, and you've got so many other ones. But what we want to be doing is looking for somebody who's actually an FBA seller, because they're going to be doing the same thing as us. So we'll be looking for somebody like this guy here, MVP Collectibles UK. you can see that this person has got a 4-star review and he's got 37 actual reviews. So that would give us an indication of how good how long this seller has actually been on Amazon, or how many items they've actually got on Amazon. If you look at someone like Winner's Mentality here with 1,392, you could imagine that that type of seller is actually somebody who's doing a lot of wholesale. They might have been around on Amazon for a while. Potentially this seller here has got like wholesale deals, so you might not really want to be looking at this type of seller, because this type of seller, you're not going to be able to find the products which he's finding. They're not going to be doing the same model as us. So if you was looking for I'm just trying to look for somebody else. Marshall, get down. If you was starting out, just started selling on Amazon, and you was going through the ungating process, what you need to be doing is potentially looking at somebody like this person here, PYX Commerce. So why would I say that? And the reason why I would say that is because this seller has got 1 review. So that means that they're usually a new seller. If they're a new seller, that means that obviously they're going to be facing the same problems potentially as yourself. As we can see here, this seller has actually got 106 different ASINs. They're mostly in Lego, Funko. I haven't heard of that brand, but we've got Nivea, Barbie, Playmobil. So this one possibly wouldn't be a very good person to be looking at. They have got low reviews, but they're heavily saturated in Lego. So you'd be wondering where they're getting the actual Lego products from, being a fairly new seller. I haven't heard of these brands either, which would put me off a little bit. These sound a little bit private label-y. So this seller may be a Chinese seller potentially. So you've got to be very careful with who you actually are stalking. When you are stalking somebody as well, you want to be taking into consideration the brands, like we've just said, Lego here. They are heavily saturated in Lego. So you'd be wondering where they are getting their products from. As arbitrage sellers, what we need to be doing is actually looking at the brands being quite mixed up. So if I go to one of the other sellers on Amazon, hopefully we get a better example. So let's see, MVP. They've got quite a lot of stock, lots of different brands. So I've got GT Supplies here. This is all done live. There's no like pre-recording, there's no pre-planning. I've just literally typed in a random brand, a random product, and now we're going through it so you could see it's not planned or prepped or anything. And this is how I would do like my storefront stalking. When you are looking at a store here, you have got a lot of different brands. So we've got Lego, Lee Stafford, Mustela, which I'm sure is a IP, so be very careful with that brand. Rimmel, Belkin, Speedy. We've got lots of different types of products, lots of different brands of products, because we've got nearly 200 ASINs. We've got all these different type of brands, and you could see here they're not actually saturated in just one type of category. When I talk about categories, that isn't necessarily too important as arbitrage sellers. I will be a little bit cautious if it was heavily saturated in one type of category, because you'd be thinking this seller potentially might be dealing with a wholesaler, brand directly, anything like that. So if you was doing arbitrage like we do, you'd also notice that this would change throughout the year as well. So when I say that, is you'll be looking for them seasonable products as well. So seasonable products, like Christmas time, you'd see that this seller would be jumping into toys and games a lot more. You'd see that they'll be moving away from like gardening and all them other ones. So it's really important to get like a good variety. I think this is quite nice. Obviously they have got a lot of beauty products, but this is where I would start. So when we was going down, what you'd be doing is you'll be looking at some information here. So this is the products which are on this seller's store. So if you're wanting to get involved and see my screen, what you could do is jump on the tube, and you could come and look at the screen. It's under the same name, FBA Today. But we have got, obviously, because we're looking at somebody's store, that is going to be their prices. So you've just got to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt on what they're selling for. So you can see this store is selling these refillable mop heads for £15. But if you was looking at the lowest FBA seller, they're actually selling at £11.99. You'd be looking at this max cost. Another telltale sign you would want to be looking for is this stock level. So this is how much stock that seller has on Amazon available. And when I'm saying you've got to be careful of this, it's also a bit of a pinch of salt, because some people could put basket limits on there. But if this seller was having lots of stock, so for example they had 200 units of this calcium together health, and then they had 50 units of this Remington keratin straightener, the thing is like, it would be a struggle for them to get that many from a retailer. So it will be a telltale sign they might be doing like wholesale, might be working with the brand directly, and these, looking at this sort of information will just save you time when you are looking at storefront stalking. So how many people's actually looked at doing storefront stalking, looked at the store stock, and then said, well, looked at a seller and then just wasted the time looking at a seller, got no leads? Because like I said, these are the things you want to look out for if you was doing storefront stalking. Looking at the store stock levels, and once everything's checked, so there's no saturated brands, no saturated categories, you could then look at obviously store stock, and then you'll be looking at obviously the products they're selling. When you're looking at the products they're selling, you'd be wanting to take into consideration this number here. So you can see this max cost is £3. And what you'll be doing is you'll be doing the Google search, seeing if you get it for £3 or cheaper, and moving on. And that's how you'd quickly start going through all the different products, trying to find it, because this max cost here, it works out to what we set up in our calculations at the beginning of this recording, this live. When you put in how much profit you want to make as a minimum, like what minimum ROI is, it works out for you compared to the fees. So when you're looking at this, like you've got this Olay Retinol 24, max cost for us is we've got to be buying it for £10.77. We could do a quick Google search. Can we buy it for £10.77 on this first bit? Obviously you can go through all the different ways, you go through all these different pages, seeing if you can find it. Sometimes when you're looking at these sponsored products, they're actually not going to say if there's a discount code on or anything. So you've got to always take into consideration that you may miss some deals, but we are just trying to speed up the process when we are looking. I've tried reverse sourcing a few times, but never seem to be able to find any profitable products. yes, Thomas, so that's a great point. When you are doing storefront stalking, the thing is, you are roughly like 3 weeks behind, because we've got to think that person has found the product, it's been sent to that person, they've prepped the product, they've then sent it to Amazon and it's been processed and it's now active in Amazon. So when you are doing, like, every single sourcing method has got positives and negatives, and storefront stalking, the negatives are we are 3 weeks behind. So it's a great point to bring up, but like I said, you can find it, and it is a good way to start with finding products, because the only reason that that person is selling them products is because they're obviously profitable. So wherever they find it, they might have found it using a different sourcing method. So like I say, potentially they might have done retail arbitrage, it might have been a recent Amazon to Amazon drop, could be doing through wholesale, could be doing just online arbitrage and you've missed the deal. So there's a lot of different ways that that's actually that you've got to bear in mind it when you're thinking about how they brought their product for that price. If you are on TikTok, I am streaming on the tube. It's under the same name, FBA Today, so you're welcome to come along. You will be able to see my screen and obviously ask you questions there. If you are writing any questions down in here, it is a lot harder, a lot easier to miss them, so I'm sorry if I have missed your question. You want to head over to the tube, so much easier. But let's continue. When I'm talking about the different methods as well, Thomas, is you can actually see differences on these charts. So like this person here doing this Velda, they might have brought this price drop, but I don't know how long this seller's been actually selling this product. Let's actually bring the Amazon product up and see if I'm got a good guess on it. Not really. These people here, they could have been buying it at this price drop, so you can see if we're looking at Keeper, kind of lines up with it. So this is what would have happened on this listing. So this listing would have been selling for £16, and as you can see here, the price dropped to this low, so £7.50. People would have been buying this product here at £7.50 to sell at the highs of this £16. So if I put £7.50 in, they've got £16 here. You can see it's a profit. Obviously that is to my fees, not everyone's using my fees. But that is what would have happened. If what you could do is, if you was going to be looking at this sort of price drop, you could track that on Keeper. So then if it ever dropped down to £7.50 again, you'll get notified. And like once you start building that up and tracking lots of different products, you could then move forward and you could be tracking up to 5,000 products, I think it is, and you'll have your own kind of bot price drop monitor for your Keeper. Can you discuss transparency listings when you get a chance, please? Found a few solid leads today, but their transparency, I'm unsure if the code would be on the packaging when I receive it or not. Great question. I can answer that question. 1 second. I did have the perfect example, but I can't see it. So for transparency listings, what you'd get, welcome everyone on the YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome. So for transparency listings, if you come across a transparency listing, I came across some Philips razor blade heads, and I brought them Amazon to Amazon. So when you're doing Amazon to Amazon, you should be able to get the transparency barcodes, but it's not always a chance. It's not always guaranteed. For me, I lost like 200 quid on these heads because I didn't get access to the serial number. So when you're adding that product to Amazon, it'll ask you for 5 unique transparency serial numbers, and if you're looking at the transparency code on the actual product, it comes with a little number, but it doesn't come with the whole, I think it's a 16-digit number where you try to add the product. So if you come across any transparency barcodes or listings, I would strongly recommend avoiding them, because if you jump onto that sort of product, you've got to be either working with the brand to get them transparency barcodes, or you've got to know how to find them. And I tried everything. You can get the transparency barcode app. There's actually an app which you could get on like your phone, so you can scan it, but it doesn't give you the actual unique number to then add that to your inventory. So it's a bit hard to do transparency barcodes. I would recommend just totally avoiding them. I've got products at home where I've not added the product before purchasing in them. So I would recommend always, before you buy any product, add the product to your inventory. So that is going to be for seeing if it's ungated or not. If it is gated, seeing how many units you've got to provide an invoice for, if it's the 10 units or if it's 100 units. You're going to find out if it's like a ghost listing. I don't know if anybody's come across a ghost listing yet. What a ghost listing is and does is you'll add the product to your inventory and it just never appears. So like there's all these different factors which you've got to weigh in, and that's why I'd always recommend you to add that product to your inventory before purchasing. And obviously you've got the transparency code as well, which they're just a nightmare, mate. Welcome, 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 welcome. If you are on TikTok, can you hit that screen, give us some likes please, it just helps push the live out. And thank you to all you folks in the YouTube. If you want to ask any questions, feel free. I'd love to hear your questions and we can go over them. It's nice to see a few people in here. There we go. We've got it all up and running. How are you finding this sort of stream where I'm obviously on 2 different platforms? You guys can see the screen on YouTube, and obviously if you're there on TikTok you could just see me. Let me know how you're finding it, and if you want, you could always drop us a follow. Let's go back to this storefront here, because this product here, they have brought this one from Amazon to Amazon. You could see like sometimes by the charts you'll have a chart where it's just constantly up high and then it drops down low. So you have got to be a little bit wary, just because this data here changes all the time on each listing. As you can see, the chart is from £17 to £11, and then when you go onto this one we've got £50 to £10. So some drops may seem massive, but then they're actually not. Like this product here, we've got this Belkin 3-port charger. You can see this one is roughly selling at about £64, £65, and then the product has dropped down to 40. So potentially you would be thinking that's profitable. That'll be most likely an Amazon to Amazon drop. If you have got Arbisource, you can link your Arbisource to your Celeram. So, like for here, we have got Arbisource reverse search. So when I'm doing my storefront stalking, I can actually see if these products are cheaper in the vault of Arbisource. So like you can see, Bedino is £7.99. We have got the max cost for us to buy it is £4.27. This one probably isn't Amazon to Amazon. They may have got that at probably Holland and Barrett or something, used a coupon code, something like that. But that is how I would do storefront stalking. Is there any questions on that? We can move on to the manual. Thomas, I think it was you last week who was asking about the storefront stalking. And this is what we used to always do before like October on TikTok, where we used to give you all the information, show you how to do things, but now it's kind of, TikTok's just kicking me off. That's why I'm doing it this way now. I want to try it, see how well it goes. So if you've got any questions, if you're on TikTok or YouTube, let me know, I'll answer them, and then we'll get to go. If you are on at the start, is it worth to buy products and the start to ungate them, as almost everything is gated? So Ritvars, if you go to the tube and you look for the FBA navigators, I did do a live lesson for an hour and 20 minutes on ungating. So that goes through everything ungating, where to start, what sourcing method to use. I've just gone over storefront stalking on the tube, but that's under my own profile, so FBA today. I am screen sharing so you can actually see what I'm actually doing live on the tube. Right guys, shall we go over a different sourcing method? Yeah, as I said, I have tried it but find it very few no leads, so just sticking to manual sourcing for now. Finding plenty of leads that way. Just the issue of 100 unit ungates now, really. Everyone gets stuck with the ungates, mate. It's not like, let's see what I could, let's see. I could probably bring this across to you and show you. So this is my current list of products which I'm actually gated in recently anyway. I should be able to bring that over here. So here's my list. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? I don't know if it's brought it over yet. So I'm gated it in, and these are 100 units. We've got Samsung, Microsoft, Dior, Adidas, Alterna, Dolce & Gabbana, Estee Lauder, Missione, Sylvanian Families, Canon, Bare Minerals, Toners, Benefit Cosmetics, Elven Australia, Tommy TP, which Tommy TP, when I first started, they actually issued IPs. They reached out to all the sellers because a lot of sellers were buying their products from like Home Bargains, B&M. You used to be buying like the bottles, a pack of 4, I think you could buy for £4.99 and sell them for £20, doing retail arbitrage. Tommy TP had enough of that because there was loads of people selling them and it wasn't giving their brand a very good name. So they started sending emails out, so just be a little bit wary of Tommy TP. Mustela, maybe. Mustela, that brand, they are actually on the listings, so you've just got to bear that in mind. I don't know if we've got any more questions on here. No. But yeah, I've got plenty of different brands. Asmodee, 100 units. That one was a recent one, Ergo Baby. But we've got lots of 10 unit ungates, and when it comes to a 100 unit ungate, it's very rare that I would actually start going to look for that 100 unit ungate. if you was looking for it, you can go on Keeper and search for the brand. So if, for example, I was looking for Asmodee products, I'd search for that brand on Keeper and then filter it to find out what the cheapest product is on there, and that's what you'd source. You would source that brand, that product, not the product you're actually trying to sell for a profit. Unless you could buy 100 of them for that profit, but that is very, very, very slim chances. But like some of these products here, Squishmallows, you see Squishmallows all the time profitable, and you've just got to like weigh up, is it actually worth my money going into Squishmallows, because how many products am I actually going to sell throughout the whole Squishmallow category or brand. Yeah, just sticking to the 10 units for now. Amazon being really slow on reviewing the application for some reason. Yeah, they do sometimes take a while. They do give you an estimated date. I accidentally sent an ungate for Oakley. I sent an ungate for Oakley with 2 invoices, and they says it would have been accepted if I had the 10 units, and what I forgot to do is send the 3rd invoice. So I have got 10 units over 3 invoices, and they're quite happy for me to use the 3 invoices, and then I've just got my 10 units, and that should be an ungate. It's just I'm waiting for them to review it, but it can take a while. Can I actually look for profitable products, get ungated, and then send to... Can I actually look for profitable products, get ungated, and then send to sell? So, Ritvars, what you'd do is you'd look for products to sell, so obviously profitable products. You would add them to your inventory on Seller Central, see if that is profitable, see if you could add it, if you're gated or not. If you are gated, you'd look at the requirements, so if it's 10 units, 100 units, you go on there, and then you'll be finding a place to purchase that branded product, not necessarily that product, and then provide the invoice for the said requirements. If you are wanting to come and see the screen, thank you for all joining. I am on the tube under the same FBA Today name. You can see my screen on what we're actually doing and showing you. I'm just currently going over the products which I'm gated in on my in my business. But some of them brands there you've probably never seen before, have you? It's like we, as Amazon sellers and arbitrage sellers, we sell so many different types of products. It's unbelievable, and it's funny when people come to us and say, what products do you actually sell? I mean to use the same product for ungated and then sell them through FBA. Yeah, so when you get ungated in a brand, so I haven't got my pen here. So if I was gated in Lynx, what I would do is buy 10 cans of Lynx, or I won't buy 10 body sprays. I'd buy 10 like body wash. What that would do is give you the 10 units. You'd send the product in, you send the invoice in, get ungated, and then you could sell all of Lynx. Does that make sense? Have I explained it good enough? If you need me to go over anything, like I say, just fire your questions away. It is a lot easier for me to see your questions on the tube because so many people, every time someone scrolls through my live stream on TikTok, I can't actually read I might miss the question, so it's better to ask it on the tube where I could see it. Right, so where was we? Let's go over some. You said about manual sourcing, which is going really well for you. So with manual sourcing, are you registering to, like, have you got a list of stores which you're actually going over? Are you actually using a store list? I can possibly give you a few stores. I was talking to my VA. And I got a list off him. Marshall, get down, mate. No. Let me just give me 1 second and I can show you, so you might want to screen share it. Screenshot it. Oh, I'm on low power mode on TikTok, so hopefully if you guys do drop out, or I drop out, you want to get to YouTube and ask your questions there. I can't see it now. Recent. Oh. Might be this one. So if you want to screenshot this, Tom, that might help you a little bit with a few suppliers. Obviously you've got to do your own research in these suppliers, but we have got a big long list of suppliers there. If you want me to, I can send you this list over on Discord, because I know you're in the Discord, so I can send you this list over. Just message me. There's like a few different things what you've got to be looking out for, because some of these sellers are actually okay, but you've just got to be very careful. Like for example, this site here, I'm hoping that the live doesn't go off at this one. But if you go onto this brand, if you go onto this supplier here, you can be going to, obviously, I'm sure it's this one. Where's the clearance section on it? You go onto offers. I brought this one up when I was doing the videos for the navigators. Yeah, I don't mind sending it at all. I can't find blinking. Is there a clearance section down here? Yeah. Clearance section. So, like with this website, obviously you're getting lots of discounts in the clearance section, but you have got to look, because some of these do say like open box, damaged box in the name. So if it does say something like that, you have got to be avoiding that, because we're selling new products. So when you're sending new products into Amazon, obviously you don't want to have a damaged box or anything. But obviously you know how to do manual sourcing. If you don't know how to do manual sourcing, what it is you're going to be going through a supplier. So a supplier, and you'd be going through ideally the clearance section, because that is giving you the biggest discount. You can filter most of them by here, so discount percentage, so most money off. And you'd be going through, just doing a quick SAS search and working out if that product is profitable or not. What's this one? Got a decent size list myself, but only find regular leads on a few of the retailers. Spending time now trying to find lesser known places. That's where I tend to find the most leads. And yeah, if you was going to like new suppliers, what I like to do, because my VA, he sends me lots of new products, like suppliers which I've never heard of. So like I would go and I would do my checks, making sure that the supplier is a legitimate supplier, so looking at Trustpilot, doing a like ChatGPT search on them, seeing if they've got a physical store, going checking on Google Maps to make sure you can see that physical store, because believe me or not, you could be buying from a website and it could be someone's apartment and they're just drop shipping products. So you've got to just be aware of where you're buying your products from. But then I'll do like a custom scan on Arbisource. So with Arbisource you could create a custom scan, and then that will go through the actual website and scrape the data, and it'll give you what profitable products are there or not. This live might die soon because I haven't got much battery, but I am on the tube under the same name, and I am screen sharing if you want to see what we're actually talking about and what we're doing. You're welcome to come along. Make sure you tap the screen. Make sure you like the live. I'm going to go onto this profile here. Have you seen Arbisource before, Thomas? Or Tom? I don't know if you... Tom, this is a demo account. I don't know if I've seen you... if I've showed you before. Like I say, this is a demo account, so don't take it for gospel. But with Arbisource you have got a list of suppliers here, and what Arbisource does, it'll scrape this list every single day and update the list to see what's profitable, what's not profitable. So there's some of these products here which you might not have heard from before, some of these brands. There is a few brands where you might have seen, might not like, but you've got a lot of different brands there. You've got like Home Bargains. I've not seen Arbisource, no, trying to learn sourcing without softwares before I die into automated sourcing. That's fair enough. If you was going to do it, you could obviously use the trials and then cancel, but I was just going to show you that like these do help with the scrapes, and I was going to show you how that you could use the custom scans. So if you went to, I know this one does it quite a lot, so Toolden. So I've got Toolden here. If I wanted to, I could look at the offers, wherever, Spring Sale 26 offer. We'll go outdoor because we're wanting to be looking for gardening. What you could do is press the Chrome extension. So here you could then configure the site. So what you do is you put your product title, so that's the first product, Fiskars. Product price, you can look at that. Go to the second product. I always go to the furthest on the right and then the next row down, so that title there. Pig Nation. So Pig Nation is like this next button, so press the next button. If you've got any brand names, so I like to show this website because we have got the brand names here. So we've got brand name, we've got Fiskars, we've got DeWalt, Milwaukee, you've got EAN numbers, we've got if it's in stock, you could then add it to the basket, confirm, and then you do like what's called a custom scan. So go through all the products on that URL. So the outdoor gardening Spring 26. You can see that it's got all the prices and stuff. And what you'd be doing then is you could then press continue, and it'll be scrape with Arbisource, scrape with an extension. And what it'll do is go through all the products there. It'll check if it's profitable or not, and then obviously it fills out an Arbisource. The thing is, this Chrome extension, because I like to showcase it on the lives and stuff, and I used to always show it, it goes to my personal one where I do my own custom scans, and I want to keep my suppliers safe. So, but it will come in this bit here, so like custom scan here, and we've got a reverse scan. That's a new one. That's a problem with Studio and Phrases and stuff, is they always keep the URLs quite active for a long time. But you can do, like, if you was doing a search So let's go to Argos, for example. It'll come up here. It'll give you the product. With these sourcing softwares, you've just got to take them with a pinch of salt as well, because the sourcing softwares sometimes do give you discrepancies. So you might see this one is a tripod, this one's just a random camera, and it does mix it up when it's like multi-packs. So you've just got to always make sure you analyse the product, read the description and bits. But you can buy this product here for 115, that's a different product. But you can then do like a reverse search here and see if you get it any cheaper, or see if there's any better suppliers with a different cashback. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, you've got to, I might miss them on TikTok. I don't think I have missed any. I am streaming this on FBA today on the tube. That's YouTube. Let me see if I can get a charger for you guys. I thought that had a USB. If you just bear with me for a minute, I'll get the charger, and then the guys on TikTok could see more, and my phone's not going to die. Looks pretty good. Is the extension Arbisource 2? Yes. Wasn't looking at it on my screen when you opened it. Yeah, so the extension is the Arbisource Chrome extension, and it's called a custom scan. So you'll be able to like custom scan websites which are not on that list, and then like I say, you'll set it up, and when you've set one up, like you see there, it says previous session detected, so it saves you from going and doing it all over again. So just 1 second. RA is finished in the UK unless you've already got an account that's you've ungated everything. Okay. That was just the current screen thing, Shorty boy. Be right back, 1 second, guys. It's got a little bit of charge. It's got a little bit of charge. I should be able to pop this in here. Do you still have your sleep apnea machine? Yes, I still have my sleep apnea machine. Shawnee boy. Yeah, it's charging. Yeah, I've still got my sleep apnea machine. Darth Vader every single night. But yeah. Strange question, why? Why? Because I'm a fat lad still. Right. Marsh, get down. Good lad. Yeah, so talking about Arbisource, weren't we? So you've got the Vault, which you could do. You can do a scan. So we've got lots of different categories here. You've got like a store scan. So if you wanted to, you could go onto the list which has already been, like this is the Vault. You can put a custom link in there, so if you had like a 3 for 2 offer or something on a certain link, you could actually put that link there, and then when you add it, it'll come up and say if there's a discount, you'll be able to add that discount and then start that search. My mum's got one now, bless her. We call her Bane when she wears them. Yeah, they are terrible, mate. And if she's only just started, it's going to take a while to get used to the actual like pressures and stuff. And in summer, she would absolutely hate it. Summer is the worst. There's nothing worse than having a full-blown mask when you're hot and sweaty, and it's just uncomfortable. You can do a custom search by category. So if you was like ungated in toys, for example, and you wanted to potentially look at other toys, you can do a custom scan on toys. I can't see where the toys one is. Toys and games. So you can do that custom scan. We are streaming on the Tube, so come along and have a look. If you want to do any wholesale price lists, you can get them. You can upload a wholesale price list. You'll highlight the columns where like the EAN number is, for example, so that's your normal standard barcode. Then the buy price. You just have to be careful when you are doing wholesale. You will have to add usually VAT onto them cost of goods. So just be wary of that. So you can add VAT on with the Arbisource software. You have got a reverse search, so you could put like a storefront ID in here. So let's say we want to take this GT Supplies, we could put the storefront in there, and then you'll be able to start the scan, and that'll come up. It'll go through their store, see how many products are actually profitable. I don't think this is going to work very well because it is a demo account, but we'll see. But you could do that 5 searches if you wanted to. Do you think you can do RA on a new account now? I've heard it's a lot harder now. You could still do retail arbitrage on a new account, yes. It is a lot harder, but if you was finding like Lego in Tesco, for example, you won't be able to use your Lego receipt to ungate Lego, which that's always been the same. We've never been able to use receipts to get ungated in products. So what you'll have to do is you purchase your Lego in like Tesco, just as an example, and then you'd go online and buy like the Lego key rings from lego.com, and then you use that invoice to ungate the whole of Lego, and then you would send your Tesco Legos into Amazon. Obviously you still keep your receipts because that's your proof of purchase that you've got it from a reputable supplier, but you won't be able to use that receipt as proof of as an invoice. But I think you can still do RA on a new account, and it's always been that way, so I don't think it's got a lot harder. I think just the whole ungating is there's a lot more 100 units now, where that's for everybody. We went through my ungate list earlier on what brands I'm gated in, and like how many units for different ones. Sorry, let's just see if I'm caught up with the chat. I've not seen Arbisource now. Looks good as the yeah, I've gone over them ones. Like I say, if you've got any questions on YouTube or on TikTok, TikTok's a little bit harder for me to keep involved with because it comes up and goes a bit quicker. But yeah, this is the first night of doing a multi-channel stream, so then people on YouTube could see the screen and then you guys could ask questions as well. What we've just done is a bit of a reverse. We're just showing Arbisource, how to do different features, different functions on Arbisource. So like we've just done a reverse search of a storefront on Arbisource. That person has got no matches to our filters. Obviously you can change these filters and stuff. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to bring much up because of our demo account. What you can do though is when you saw here on the reverse search, you could enter a list of ASINs. So what I would do is do a keeper search, find like 2,000 or 5,000 different products on Keeper. I would then export that data from Keeper and I'll put it into Arbisource, and then Arbisource would give me a list of where you could buy them products for. Would you look at making a profit ungating, or just make your money back off the wholesale order? So personally, just not a loss. Like if it's an ungate, so I went over this when I did the ungating lesson on YouTube. So I found some Panasonic, I don't know if they were like hair dryers or something. There was some Panasonic expensive electrical, and I could make like, I think it was like £8 profit a unit, and I could buy 6 or something. Might have been more than £8, but I didn't use them brand. I could only buy 6, that was my maximum. And I brought some Panasonic like penny batteries for like your key fobs. So I brought them as individuals, as 100 units, and then I found a listing where I could sell them for like a pack of 3 or a pack of 6, and I sold them at break even. But then I ungated Panasonic as a whole to then sell my actual products which I wanted to sell. And then I've ungated Panasonic as well, and the Panasonic is massive. And when you do come to ungating, like I said earlier, if it's a brand which you've probably not heard of, or you don't know much about their products, bang the brand into Keeper. Do a search of what products they offer, then like highlight it and see which one sells at the lowest price. Because obviously we know as Amazon sellers, if it's on Amazon, we could buy it cheaper. So if you see that a product's on Amazon for like £3-4, you're most likely going to be able to buy it for £1 really, depending if you can find the supplier, and then you've got to just go and find the supplier. But yeah, it's different for everyone. If you had like a 10 unit ungate and you could buy 10 units, and there's 100 units ungates, no, there's still 10 unit ungates as well at the moment, Shorty Boy. It's not everyone which is 100 units, there's a mixture. So when you like add the product to your inventory, you'd have to have a look at which one is profitable. Like, you have to look at the requirements. Hey Ricky, I am on YouTube, so if you want to see my screen share, that's where to go and have a look. I am trying to keep up with both chats as well. This chat obviously is a little bit slower. This one I've got a lot of people joining and leaving, so I might miss comments on TikTok. So do you want me to show you, I can show you a quick, I'll show you going over Keeper, and then I'll get the reverse source and we can put it in the Arbisource. So if you was using Keeper, I am logged in, fantastic, great start. You go to Product Finder, and what Product Finder does, do you use Keeper, Tom? I don't know if you're still here. If you're using Keeper Product Finder, what you're doing is you're going to be putting like some filters together and finding a list of products which you're then wanting to sell. So everyone usually goes for the same type of generic filters. Obviously I'm going to do that just so then you could understand what sort of filters people will use. So like if you was going to do BSR, so that is your bestseller rank, you could do 100,000 BSR as a maximum. So you're looking at the top 100,000 products in each category. You then want like a buy box. Yeah, use Keep a Product Finder. Tried sourcing that way too, but again, find manual sourcing more successful. Keep a Product Finder is probably one of the harder ways of finding products. But like if you was using Arbisource, what you could do, and like even Profit Path, you could get a list of these products, put them into like the reverse search section, and it'll give you the suppliers instead of you manually going through a long list and finding them. So like you'd be looking at a buy box price from £20 to £50, for instance. You'd be wanting to, like, we could search for certain categories, so I'm going to do garden just for this one because it's coming up to the garden season. Then off account, we'll do 3 to try and avoid some private label products. Then we don't want to sell heavy products or poor products, so if we went into here to 3 kilograms, we want also reviews. Where's reviews? Reviews. So rating, you don't want to poor products, so 4. Let's see, let's put a weight of from 300 grams to 3 kilograms, see if that brings anything down. How's the live? Yeah, I'll check out your YouTube. I'm on FBA's Chris's mod. I want to get into RA. Oh, brilliant. RAs can be hard. It's one of them things where you've got to get used to it as well. It doesn't, you've got to kind of go in, do a bit of a scan, remember the brands and stuff, and try and look for special offers as well. Put the mic closer. On TikTok, that one is, I haven't got a mic for that one, that's just going through the phone. The mic's here. This is going to YouTube, so there's a better advantage of going to YouTube. You can see the screen, you can hear me better. But the live's going alright. We've got 4 people on YouTube, we've got 6 people here, so it's going alright, it's going alright. Let's also put, we want to sell the fastest products as well. So we will go, for brought in the past month, 50 plus, see what that brings us down. Oh, that one brought us. Let's do, we could do it from 10 now, can't we? Gosh, we've restricted ourselves. Let's not do a category. Let's take the garden category off. So there's 24,000, because we want to be doing a decent sized list, don't we? We've got top hundreds, oh not top 1,000, top 100. Got 7,000, let's do that. So if you wanted to find 7,000 products, obviously if you was going to go over 7,000 products, you would never be able to do that sort of thing, would you? Go through them manually. If you go to here and get the rows, you get the 5,000 rows. Are you on phone for TikTok? Yes, I'm on the phone for TikTok, and then obviously I'm streaming YouTube from YouTube. The idea between doing the phone TikTok was apparently that brings more people in, but with YouTube, obviously that's then connected to the computer and it don't do all the mess around with the different software. Because if I was doing, like, if I was sharing my screen from OBS, what it would do is I'll still get restricted because I'll still be sharing my screen. So what we've just done there is we've got the first 5,000 products. We should have probably excluded fashion. I've just seen loads of fashion. We can take this list, export, and we could get only the ASINs. So export that data. That saved it for us. We could go over here and we could upload a CSV file, pop that in there. That's because it's a thingy. Let me just open a sheet. Open. You can tell I do it quite a lot. I don't know if you just saw there that I had a bit of a list going. Yeah, I've been saying it so far and nothing's happened yet. So what you do is take this list. So you can see we've got a list of 5,000 different ASINs. You'd copy that list. And what you could then do is put that list in here. Start the scan. And that would go through now and it'll actually find stores for them products. And it will save you time. So that is something which you can do. YouTube is very low. Very low, a lot higher on TikTok than YouTube. Oh. Is that better, Marky? Or have I just turned it down? The thing is, with the YouTube, I haven't set it up amazingly. Or is it because I've got... This was the first time of doing it, so I might not have set things up correctly. I wonder if it's the... Let me... No, still the same volume. Right. I'll probably have to change that for next time. Are you enjoying the stream like this instead of like me just talking on TikTok? Have you enjoyed this a little bit better? Yes, I'm on FBA today, Ricky. If you've enjoyed it, let me know because I could do more lives like this. And I'll make sure the sound's correct next week. If you want me to do more like this, I prefer more like this because I'm giving the value which you guys deserve. So yeah, this is how I used to do it. This is how I used to always do it. It's just with YouTube and TikTok changing their requirements, if you start screen sharing on TikTok, you're done. So, oh bollocks! Oh, help me! I accidentally accepted you. Can you leave, please? No, can you leave, please? How do I get off this? Oh my days! How do I leave this, mate? No, I don't want to fight. Oh my days. How do I end it with him? Oh my gosh. How do I leave it? Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I ended up in a blinking battle on TikTok against your man. Oh my days. I do not know how to do the battles and stuff. Right, let's get back to it. Easy done on the phone. It's like, yes, I don't want to accept anymore, and then you press the highlighted button which says accept. So, the reverse pay. What? I paid him? Paid him well. I hope I didn't pay him. So yeah, we have got obviously the results. We can see here that we have got pillows. Pillows are going to be a little bit difficult to analyse You will have to look at obviously the brands, but this P-Zuna, that man was a blinking P-Zuna. But you've also got Percale. Obviously that's not the same brand, but like I said, with all these softwares you are going to have like discrepancies like that. We have got this Ryman one here. So Ryman K270. We can go and have a look. Home delivery is not available. You can do a click and collect. Obviously what you do is go and have a look. So you can see here, have a look at the listing. See if it's profitable for us. You'd analyse it. Obviously my settings are going to be a little bit different to you. I've got prep fees on, bits and bobs like that. If you was doing prep fees, you will be wanting to be with, well, I would have taken that off, so mine would be $14.30 basically. But you have got alerts. Does everyone know what the S means? Why that matters, that S? E-commerce clips, please help me. What's up, my guy? What's the matter, e-commerce clips? If you want to, you come on to the tube. That's what I've been saying, Ricky, the tube. You could always join us on the tube and see the screen share. Why does it matter about this S, guys? Obviously it means oversized, but why does that matter? Can anyone answer? I don't know if it's coming up for you guys. I don't know. Sorry about the dogs. Sorry about the dogs. I don't know if it's a small delay. But if the product is oversized, what you will have to do is send that product differently to normal products. Obviously they are larger products. They may be heavier. They may be larger in size, so they won't be able to go. Marshall, enough! They won't be able to go with your normal products, like if you were sending links, body washing or whatever. And you'd go through analysing the product. Obviously it's a Logitech product. We've got the brand name there. We want to check that it is the Logitech. No one scribbled this out and put Asher's keyboard. The brand is the correct brand. You'd be doing your checks. With products like this, I would be checking that this is the same model as the supplier, so the K270. I would also do, because this Ryman, they do have a EAN number on there. I would always do a search of the EAN number, making sure that that links up. So you can see here, we've got the EAN number ending in 910. That one goes to 910. It's £15. You might be able to then use Top Cashback. You might be able to use Cooper. You might be able to use anything like that to save you time, save you money, and reduce this cost of goods. I don't know if there's many about. Show only available stores. So there's a few stores. Obviously if you are around there and you was interested, you can go and obviously check that out. But yeah, that's what you would do with Arbisource. If you was looking as well, what I do is I check like the 90 day, make sure the buy box. Doesn't matter so much now because we're at a steady point of the year, but when it's like Christmas time, when it's January, when it's February, you've got to be careful because some prices are actually inflated, and then once like Christmas is done, the sales will drop off and the prices will start to come back down. So this 90-day average or the 180-day average is very important around like seasonable products at seasonable times. So just bear that in mind when you are doing your analysis. We also have, obviously here, you'll be wanting to look back, have a look, see who's been on the buy box, see if the brand's been on there. You'll be wanting to look at the year chart. You can see it. We've had like the, I like to call it like the castle effect, the turrets, the up and down, up and down. That doesn't mean much. We have had this though here, so you would be wanting to look for this type of thing. You've got a massive drop off here, so this would be a very big warning sign. This would be the warning sign which says you cannot, well, you shouldn't purchase this product to resell. This product indicates, this line here and this drop off indicates that there's an IP been issued. So the brand or Amazon's issued an IP, and you can see that we've gone from 10 offers down to 1 offer, and obviously that 1 offer is then start to pick up when people's probably not analysed the products properly. We've had third party FBM sellers starting to sell, get that offer high up, and then FBA sellers have been jumping on it as well. So you would just want to take that with a bit of salt. There's not been a IP recently, but it's always something to be aware of, and that's what would be a telltale sign for me to say I would avoid this product. Does that make sense, everyone? Are you guys enjoying it on TikTok? Let me know, let me know. If you're not following, make sure you hit that follow button. If you are following and you want to come and see what I'm doing, come and check us out on the tube under FBA Today. Right. We've got 20 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to go over? Would you like to go over anything? Anyone? Anybody want to go over anything special? Have you got any questions? What can I help you with? Let's bring that back to you. What question do you have for me? Do you have any questions for me? What's my Discord channel? So, my Discord channel, it's a great question, and thank you for asking that. I don't know if I've set it up on YouTube, because this is the first time I've done this on YouTube. So what I usually do is I do this on TikTok every week. This is actually week 85 of doing this stream in a row. Just answering questions. If people have got a problem, I'll try and sort it out on the screen. Obviously for you guys, now you can see the screen. I was able to do it for the longest time, but with TikTok they do start to restrict you if you start sharing your screen now. So this is why I'm trying to be an Amazon seller and pivoting. But I do have a link in the bio. I believe I've got it on YouTube. See, I don't even know how to get onto YouTube, me thinking there. But I have got a pen site here. So I do run a Keep course. It is a live course. I have done it previously. I'm looking to do a 2.0 version, a bit of an updated version, teaching different lessons. A lot of people who came to me and did the Keep course last year, they absolutely loved it. It blew the socks off. There was Only problem with it is I gave them too much information about Keeper. So there is a Keeper interest form there. If you'd like the original version, I do offer that for sale, but there is an interest form there if you want to go over, do a new updated one. I was just going to see how well it does. But we have got the FBA navigators, so that is the Discord which I actually co-own. So the Discord is obviously the link in my bio. We do have like live events like this in the premium side. It's a free community, but we do have a premium side as well, where we do, where we do like the live lessons, live one-to-many coaching. If you do need anything let me get my words out. If you do need any help with anything to do with your Amazon business, you can book a 15-minute call with me. I was considering taking them off because I am struggling to fit time in, but when somebody goes on to that 15 minutes, I need to be a bit more strict that it is 15 minutes. But yeah, we have got also some save money. So Everup, that gives you the discount, that they give you like cashback gift cards. So if you was doing retail arbitrage, if you was doing online arbitrage, you could then buy a gift card and get instant cashback. That's really good. I think I've done like nearly 2,000. I've nearly done £1,000 since May last year in cashback. You obviously got your normal ones, top cashback. You've got Cooper and Quidco. If you want, I do offer some free information. So software framework, that's like there's 190 days of free trials. There's a supplier list on there. There's £1,000 worth of savings in total, including trials. We have got Analyze and Conquer PDFs. So if you want to go and have a look at how to use Celeram, if you want to look at how to use Buybot Pro, I took a screenshot of them. It is fairly old, so just beware, but it tells you what everything does. It's quite a handy PDF. And then we've got the Conquer PDF as well. That tells you what factors come into winning the buy box. We have the Auto Ungate sheet, which is a bit outdated. It's not the best, I will admit. FBA multi-channel fulfillment micro course, which I did not last year, the year before, so it could be a little bit out of date, but it still should give you the correct sort of information if you was going down that route. Toolkit for Amazon seller. Like I say, I do offer the Ultimate Keeper course. That is part 1. If I was going to do a part 2, that was going to be, that's what the interest form is for. And I've got a few others. And if you really enjoyed this session, you can actually buy me a beer through the link in my bio. But yeah. So I hope that helped, Mark. The softwares which we have used, obviously we've got Celeram, we've got Arbisource, and we've got Keeper. TrueOps, that helps with disbursements come back from Amazon. So if Amazon loses any products, if they damage any of your products, obviously that will go on to TrueOps. Any advice on ungating grocery and gourmet or human ingestibles? Would a regular retailer invoice for a product which is gated in one of those category? So Thomas, if you was wanting to do ingestibles, that is going to become, that would be hard for you at the beginning of your journey, because Amazon is, obviously they don't know who you are. I mean, you could probably get, I can't think of a retailer to buy grocery items from to get an invoice. You might be able to go to something like Euro Office, and because you could buy like biscuits and stuff, coffee, that might ungate grocery, but human ingestibles, you've got to be very careful because Amazon doesn't know you as a business or a seller, so they're wanting you to build your account health up. Once you've gained that like recognizability, you can tell I'm good with words, can't you? Once you've gained that sort of like reputable, I can't even think of the word. Once you become reputable with Amazon and you've got a good health, a good history, and they trust you a bit more, they will allow you to actually ungate that human ingestibles. But I'm not 100% sure how strict they are on the grocery. So, but you could go to like a place like, I say, Euro Office. What I like to think of is where would offer a invoice. Obviously, like Euro Office, they do a lot of supplies for businesses. So I'm thinking like you might be able to get food and drink, might be able to get like some tea. I don't know if this is going to be the cheapest option. I'm just giving you an option. But I'll be just thinking about where can I get X amount of products. I mean, you could do it there, Twinings, £39. Yeah. Found a fair few human ingestibles listings, but I'm wary of buying if I won't get ungated. Yeah, it is one of them ones with human ingestibles. I do know that people have been like, you'll go to ungate it and they'll say it's not available for you as a seller, and you won't be able to then obviously go and ungate it. So I would try and add it, see what it actually says, and then move on from there. But if you was going to kind of look, I'll be looking at somewhere like this, which you know these will give you an invoice because they deal with businesses. It's like I wouldn't probably go like do a delivery from Morrison's, for example, because I don't know if they give an invoice. If you've got experience of doing that in your personal life, it might be an option. But I know that these work with businesses, so yeah. Right, I am on here for another 10 minutes. I do this live every Tuesday for free, and think about all the value I've just gave you. And a massive amount of value. I do this for free every 7 PM till 9 PM. If you was looking at using any of like the software I've shown you, I would appreciate it if you came through the link in my bio, because I do get a small cutback. It doesn't change your price, but there you go. We have got some Arbysource Amazon to Amazon as well. I was going through Arbysource, wasn't I? You've got price drops, so that is monitoring, and it'll give you the latest price drops. As you can see here, Smiths has reduced this to £4, if it's still available everywhere. £4. You can sell that for £11.95. If it's the right one, I'm not 100% sure, but that's even profitable for me. Looks like a good seller, to be fair. Obviously 50 times a month, 30% ROI, but like I say, I've got a prep fee and all the other fees on there, so just be wary. Doesn't meet my minimum profit. My average profit per unit is, I think last year it was about £5.60. That was my average profit per unit last month, sorry. But yeah, you might be able to buy that. the thing is, I do know that there is. I always try and see if there's a picture of it in its packaging. So yeah, you've got a picture of it in its packaging there, with the square ham bag sword. So that looks like the right one. Is it near me? Hello this time. Yeah, there's some in stock near me. So, could be an option, could be an option. Would you buy that? What would you look for? You've got the Mattel store. It's at Amazon Choice. We haven't got any drop off in sellers. There we go. It's been quite nicely selling all this time. The buy box has been around £12 all the time. You haven't seen it priced any lower. So that one would actually be possibly a good one, especially if you sell that brand already. One thing to do, check before you just go ahead and purchase. Obviously add that to your inventory first. Hiya Verkful, I'm actually on the tube. Just doing a bit of screen sharing. We've just found a product which is a little bit profitable. But when you are looking for these products, you will have to check if that buy box does get shared. If this buy box doesn't get shared, I would avoid it. I would look on the 30 day, I would look on the 90 day, and I'll look at the 180 day. I wouldn't take into consideration the all, because sometimes you have a product which could be selling for 4 years, for example, and there might have been a IP drop off which you missed, and then the last 180 days Amazon's been on it 180% of the time. 100% of the time. I don't know why I said 180. But yeah, let me know if you would buy this product. It looks okay for a quick 2-second glance at it, but that is me giving you that final bit of added value, and it might be something you might consider going ahead and buying. So I am going to wrap up. If you've liked this live, if you've liked the screen share, if you've liked it on TikTok like this, I don't think I've got restricted this TikTok, but I've only got 1.6 likes, which is a bit disappointing for you on TikTok. I'm only messing. All I do is appreciate your time on here, and obviously giving me content to go ahead and give you a bit of a talk about. Right, I think that is about it. How have you found it? Let me know how you found it. Who's in here? We've got Verkful, who's just joined. T10002, how are you? You're usually in here. How have you been doing? Have you enjoyed the live tonight? Let's see how long you've been in. I'm sure there's a way I could do it. Says that you've watched for more than 30 minutes. That's good. Who else is in here? No comments though, T10002. No comments. I'm watching you. How have you guys found it on YouTube? I don't know who's on there. We have got Mark and Thomas. Mark, are you following me on TikTok or anything? And if you are following me on YouTube, make sure you drop me a follow on there. I would appreciate it. Same goes for you, Thomas. If you're not following me on YouTube, I'd appreciate the drop of the follow. I have got 3 minutes remaining. We have got it up to date. I don't know why it's not showing me that. Oh, I wonder if that's because I was watching it technically. I don't know if I was. I don't know. Hello, David. Is David just scrolled through? See, this is the thing. It tells you who scrolled through, but I can't. Like, this is why I miss some of the comments sometimes. But it is what it is. What it is. What it is. It is. Do do do. Right, guys. Everyone's gone quiet. It's like they've been talking for the last 2 hours about something they're extremely passionate about. How is, while you're being quiet, I'm going to just have a look at what things do, and hopefully next overlay for brakes. Jeez. Hopefully next week I could get it set up a little bit better. We could do it on the different channels. You guys could see the screen share, and you guys could join us on the screen share. Right, I think everyone's tired of listening to me waffle on. I do always try and do the whole 2 hours. So we're nearly there. Create highlight video, add stream marker, mark. Right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. This live lesson, I believe, will go onto my YouTube channel. So if you have any questions and you want to go over it, you could go and view it there. Like I said, I would appreciate you following in and joining in next week. I'd love that to see you all there next week. Right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for jumping on the TikTok. Thank you for all the likes. And thank you for all the amazing questions in the YouTube, guys. Cheers, guys. I'm going to go. Bye.